Hello and welcome, Rangers, to Morphenomenal Reviews. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
Today's episode that we're reviewing is Green with Evil. Honestly, one of the best episodes of Power Rangers. This episode has had a long history with fans, and it's the most popular Season 1 storyline of all time, and with very good reason.
It set a precedent of a lot of Sixth Rangers across the history of Power Rangers.
I will argue something that some may feel is controversial. None of them ever compared with this one. They all suck compared to the original. The OG is the best. And this episode also introduces the most popular Power Rangers character of all times, Tommy. Tommy Oliver would go on to become one of the main characters of the series. Now, the main character of Mighty Morphin was Kimberly. Tommy, though, who'd serve as a bit of a lightning in a bottle character for the fans. They would just fall over themselves in love with him. Now that we have that out of the way, episode starts off at a martial arts tournament in the juice bar where Jason's getting a little nervous because Tommy is doing his flashy kick motions and ha or whatever. What's interesting is that Tommy is coming off as very aggressive, but he's actually a bit of a calmer fighter than what he's giving the vibe of. And he fights very methodically in his fight with Jason here, as well as in the later battles throughout this episode. The thing that Tommy's employing is psychological warfare. He's psyching his enemies out by seeming angrier and bigger than what he really is. As we later see, he's actually a remarkably shy and timid young man who struggles with some self-confidence and some minor self-esteem issues. The only thing he's truly confident about is his martial arts. And when it comes to that, it's war for him. He is ready to fight and use every trick in the book to win, so long as it's within the rules. And psychological warfare certainly is. Jason is feeling a little psyched out. Who could blame him? While he's going, wow, that guy looks intense as a fighter. And Zach's also feeling daunted. Kim, of course, notices something different. Tommy is very fit and has high cheekbones and long hair. She's immediately teased by Trini, who seems bemused. Later, though, after the fight, which ends in a draw, Kim is immediately smitten with Tommy. And of course, Tommy is immediately smitten with the pretty Pink Ranger, to quote Goldar and Ivan Ooze. This is where things go wrong. Rita Repulsa, seeing the immense potential for martial arts within Tommy, and boy does he have potential, decides to possess the young boy. And she sends down her putties to test him, as if she needs to test him, and he's turned into the Green Ranger. As the Green Ranger, he ends up battling against the rest of the Rangers. He damages the command center, sneaking in with his power coin, casting Zordon away, even damages Alpha. Not terribly so, but just enough to be an irritation. In the battle, he enters the Megazord, chucks the Rangers out, and proceeds to pretty much humiliate them. With that said, as Tommy ends up treating Kim like garbage, and Kim ends up feeling terrible, and even later in the episode comments, well, excuse me for existing, because Tommy throws in her face that you are not the center of the universe, which we get to see two very sensitive people there kind of clashing. The thing about Tommy is, when he's possessed, he's very petty, which is the opposite of his actual personality. Tommy is by no means a petty person, but we see what kind of corruptive influence Rita can have over an individual. And I kind of read into this episode that the Green Ranger powers can be construed as a bit of a metaphor for drugs or alcoholism, being recruited into a gang, as Tommy strikes me as this kind of, given his background, the kind of individual who'd be susceptible to such influences. That said, he's never susceptible to over the course of the series. He's just possessed by evil and by an alien demonic witch, which is far more realistic, as we all know. What's more is that Jason decides to try and befriend Tommy over the course of the episode. It doesn't really work out. He's instead thrown into the dark dimension prison of Rita, which actually belongs to Lord Zed, but he's not here yet. Well, she's the tenant. Zed's renting it out to her. I wonder if it's rent by hour, by week, or by month.
I think by century.
Probably. She's long overdue on some payments.
Yeah.
Considering she's been sailed away for 10,000 years. Goldar is there, and he bungles up the fight with Jason. When Rita sees that he's bungling it, the Green Ranger is sent in to finish the job, and Tommy immediately goes in for the kill. That said, by then, the worst nightmare of Rita and her side kicks in. Billy. Billy manages to lock onto Jason's position, teleport him back, and the Rangers, shortly thereafter, have it revealed to them that the Green Ranger that they've been struggling against is really Tommy Oliver. And they're informed by Zordon that they can free Tommy by destroying the dark sword that Rita has given him recently. And that since the possession has now been transferred over to that sword, it means its destruction will free Tommy. With this knowledge that Tommy is the Green Ranger, like I said, they lure him into a trap, and in the end, the real trap is really dished out by Tommy and Rita. But the problem is, this trap that's been set for Jason ends up kind of blowing up in Rita and Tommy's face, as Tommy is defeated, barely, by Jason, who proves himself for now the better martial artist. By the halfway point in the series, Tommy ends up surpassing Jason by a mile, but for the moment, Jason has surpassed Tommy, and Jason ends up destroying the sword, is quick to offer his friendship and forgiveness to Tommy, who feels utterly broken by what he has done. It's only after looking to Kim and the rest of their friends, finds it within himself to forgive himself an inch and accept Jason's offer. That said, Tommy doesn't fully forgive himself just yet. It's going to take quite some time before he's able to make peace with what's happened, as he's probably the most traumatized individual by what's happened during the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the moment where he looks to Kim for what she thinks is very interesting.
And it is actually very natural we see them as there are more 14, 15-year-old in universe, and this is very natural for young adolescents to behave around their crush.
They seek their approval.
Exactly, and sometimes they're shy, they want to see how their crush will react.
We'll see that with Tommy and Kim for a while in this season. The two very strongly crush on each other, and they have a very, very popular romance that takes place later. And as Zordon notes at the end of the episode, we are seeing history in the making, and we certainly were seeing history in the making. Let's rate this episode. I'm going to rate it a 3.5.
3 3/4. I mean, what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I think I'm perfectly well within my rights. I mean, rated episodes wrongly yourself. I don't see why you're saying I have damage here.
Well, projection certainly is a problem.
Either that or I think you're overrating this episode. There are better episodes later down the road.
That is true.
I think this is a solid 3.5. 3.3 is overrating it. Because but we'll just have to agree to disagree, which is about the second or third time today that we do so.
No, indeed.
It's been one of those days. Hope you enjoyed this review. If you have, don't forget to go back and watch the episode, because it truly is spectacular. It's one of the best Power Rangers stories of all times. Also, don't forget to smash that like button and that subscribe button, like your Tommy smash kicking that subscribe button.